What's going on, guys? My name is Ted, bringing you all a comparison today of the Galaxy Note 2 versus the Galaxy S3. These are two top-of-the-line flagship devices for Android, and I want to go over a few of the hardware as well as software specs between the two devices to hopefully give you guys a better idea of which one you should go out and purchase if you're looking for a new phone. So one thing I'll mention really quick before I get into the hardware specs is that this is the American version of the devices. So if you're over there and not in the US, if you're over there to the UK or maybe Korea someplace, check the link in the description below. It's where I go over the international versions of these two devices. They're a little bit different. I just want to make sure I give you guys the exact specs. I'm really a stickler on that kind of stuff. But this is the American version. So let's move into the hardware and software specs and a little bit of comparison between these two devices to hopefully give you guys a better idea of which one you should go out and purchase. So starting with the operating system, this is a very important aspect of any phone that comes out these days. And the Galaxy Note 2 comes with the latest and greatest Android operating system, or Android 4.1.1 Jelly Bean. This is the best. It comes with a lot of software improvements as well as user interface updates, a lot more features as well. And this is a little bit better than the Galaxy S3, which only comes with 4.0.4 or Android Ice Cream Sandwich. A little bit better of an upgrade, but the Galaxy S3 is due for an upgrade to Jelly Bean soon, sometime in the near future, according to Samsung. We don't know when this is going to happen. They've been promising it for several months now, but we will get Jelly Bean eventually. It just doesn't know when. And I say we because I personally own the Galaxy S3, so if you see me mention that a few times, it's why. Moving on to the screen size, this is another huge aspect of the two devices. The Galaxy Note 2 comes with a 5.55-inch Super AMOLED LED screen. Absolutely massive. I think it's the biggest screen ever featured on a smartphone before, and this puts it in the phablet category, which is great. The phablet means it's a phone tablet. Bigger screens give you easier typing speeds. Just in general, it makes the experience of the phone a lot better. And I like big screen phones. I think they look awesome, they feel awesome, and I really like bigger phones because I think the bigger is better in my opinion as far as smartphones go, which is why I'm more of an Android person versus an iPhone person, because iPhones are very, very small screens. This compared to the Galaxy S3 is a little bit better because the Galaxy S3 only has a 4.8-inch screen. The Galaxy S3, it's a great phone and I love it, but I would love to see it come with a bigger screen. So the 4.8-inch screen is also very, very good. It's the phone that I currently have right now, and I don't find typing to be too difficult, but I can just imagine a 3/4 of an inch bigger screen size on the Galaxy Note 2 would make it just fantastically easy to move around your phone and just do everything easier about your phone. As far as the resolution goes, the Galaxy Note 2 and the Galaxy S3 both have a 1280 by 720 resolution. This is full 720p HD resolution screen, which is fantastic. But the Galaxy Note 2 has a lower pixel per inch ratio because it has a bigger screen, so it's not as crisp. To give you exact specifics, which is what I like to do on my channel, the Galaxy Note 2 comes with this 267 pixel per inch ratio, as opposed to the Galaxy S3, which has a 306 pixel per inch ratio. This is a big difference. Most people overlook this. Pixel density is a huge thing. So when you zoom in on photos or when you just overall look at your device, the lower pixel density you have, the more blurry things are going to be. The more you zoom in, it's going to look a little less crisp. The Galaxy Note 2 has a bigger screen, so you're normally further away from your screen when you're looking at it, which is why the lower pixel density isn't too big of a deal. But the Galaxy S3 having a 306 pixel per inch ratio is almost on par with that of the iPhone. The iPhone comes in, I think, at 332 pixels per inch, if I'm not mistaken. So it's almost on par with the iPhone as far as screen resolution goes, which is absolutely fantastic. A bigger screen resolution makes it that no matter how much I zoom in on photos or how much I zoom in on text, it's all very, very crisp and clean. As far as processing speed goes, this is another huge difference between the two devices. The Galaxy Note 2 is coming with a quad-core 1.6 GHz Exynos processor, which is super high-quality processor. I think it's one of the best to come in a phone right now. 1.6 GHz is a massive clock speed. We've never seen that. I think the only phone with a better clock speed than that is the Razer I, which has a 2 GHz clock speed, but it's only got a single core. It's got a single core Intel processor, whereas this one has a quad-core Exynos processor, which is absolutely fantastic. We've never seen this in a device before, at least not over here in America. This is the first quad-core device over here in America that runs with the 4G LTE antenna, which is really, really cool. I love seeing innovations in devices, and this is definitely one huge step ahead for American devices. This compared to the Galaxy S3. The Galaxy S3 is a 1.5 GHz dual-core Snapdragon S4 Pro processor. 1.5 GHz is clocked a little bit slower, but the Snapdragon S4 is a better processor than the Exynos processor, so it's really a trade-off there. The Exynos is more for graphics, whereas the Snapdragon S4 is more for performance. So if you like performance over graphics, the S3 is where the better processor is right now, but it's not clocked as fast. So it's really a trade-off there, whether you want better clock speed, better performance, better graphics. All those things are variable between these two devices. As far as your RAM and your ROM, the Galaxy Note 2 and the Galaxy S3 both come with 2 GB of RAM. This is one thing that's different than the international version, is the international version of the Galaxy S3 only has 1 GB of RAM. So with these two devices, You're coming both with 2 gigabytes of RAM. This is great for multitasking, so you can open programs that you opened a couple days ago, and they'll still be sitting there in your random access memory, so you don't have to reload them. They're just sitting there waiting for you to choose on them, and that way you don't have to reload them at all. It just makes multitasking a lot better, and both these devices have 2 gigabytes of RAM, which is the most we've ever seen in phones before. As far as your memory goes, the Galaxy Note 2 is going to come with 16, 32, or 64 gigabytes of internal storage, whereas the Galaxy S3 only has the 16 or 32 gigabyte option, but both phones come with the option to add a micro SD card, which can hold up to 64 extra gigabytes of memory for just a fraction of the price. So if you like micro SD cards like I do, you can get a ton of memory on your phone, up to 128 gigabytes worth, for just a fraction of the cost of buying internal phone storage. That's one trade-off I might be looking into. I personally love micro SD cards. They're a lot cheaper alternative to buying internal phone storage than to having to buy it through your carrier. So if I had to suggest it, go with the 16 gigabyte and then buy a micro SD card if you want more memory than that. As far as the cameras go, both devices have an 8 megapixel rear-facing camera that records at 1080p resolution and a front-facing camera at 1.9 megapixels that both record at 720p HD resolution. So both the cameras for the rear and front camera for both the devices are the exact same. There's really no trade-off there as far as either of the devices go. As far as NFC enablement, once again, both phones have it. It's definitely a good thing, but it's kind of a standard now in phones these days. I'd be very disappointed if the phone didn't have it. NFC is near-field communication, so you can tap the 2 phones together and send information between 2 devices. It's really, really neat, and I didn't really realize how much I used it until I actually had it, and I'm like, this is really cool. So you can send photos, videos, all kinds of stuff just by tapping your 2 devices together. Really, really neat addition, but all phones have it these days, at least any of the new ones coming out, and I'm definitely glad that both these devices have it as well. As far as battery life goes, this is another huge aspect of your 2 devices. The Galaxy Note 2 is coming with a 3,100 milliamp hour battery. This is huge. This is just something we've never seen before. The only phone to ever have this much battery life is some of the tablets, as well as the Droid Razr Max has a 3,100 milliamp hour battery. And that phone was only sold because of its massive battery size. That's what they went on and on about, is how big its battery life was. This phone just has it, and they don't even really mention it. It's just a huge battery life, and it's going to be great. So having a big screen like the 5.5-inch screen, you're going to use a lot more battery life, but it's still going to last you for at least a full day, if not more, depending on how much you use it. 3,100 milliamp hours is absolutely massive. Compare this to the kind of meek 2,100 milliamp hour battery on the Galaxy S3. You definitely see a difference there, 1,000 milliamp hours more in the Galaxy Note 2 versus the Galaxy S3. And you might be thinking, well, the Galaxy Note 2 has a much bigger screen, maybe it'll use more battery. I don't think it will, and here's why. The Galaxy Note 2 and the Galaxy S3 both have the same number of pixels in their screen, so the screen being a huge fraction of how much of your battery life is used throughout the day. When the Galaxy Note 2 and the Galaxy S3 have the same pixel resolution, I don't think that either of one of them is going to use battery life for the screen. I'm really not sure, though, how that works, but I do think that the Galaxy Note 2 is going to have a lot better battery life than the Galaxy S3. Moving on to the cost, the Galaxy Note 2 has not been announced for off-contract prices yet, but the Galaxy S3 is going to run you around $600 for off-contract prices. That's a lot of money for a phone, and the Galaxy Note 2 is going to be a hell of a lot more than that when it actually gets released. There's no announcements yet for it. But if you're looking for devices cheap, these are just not your devices. These are top-of-the-line devices, and as such, they're going to have very high price tags. When the Galaxy Note 2 gets released with the price tag on it, I'll make sure to update you on this video. I'll leave a link down in the description below when the phone gets updated with the price on it. But that won't be till about mid-November to when we get this device. As far as the release date goes, the Galaxy S3 already is released. It's been released for a few months now, and the Galaxy Note 2 is going to come out mid-November for us over here in America. Recently, Samsung announced that they were going to have a secret announcement on the 24th of October where they were going to announce a new device with a very big screen and an S Pen, which is the stylus that comes with the Galaxy Note 2. So we all kind of know what the announcement is going to be. They're going to be announcing the American version of the Galaxy Note 2. But until that date, we really don't know the prices or when the phone's going to be released over here in America. We're just kind of taking guesses right now. As far as the Note 2, it's already released over in the UK. They got released October 1st. So as far as that device goes, if you live over in the UK, it's better for you. But if you live over in the UK, you shouldn't be watching this video anyways because this is the American version review. So other than that, guys, one last feature of the Note 2 I want to mention is it comes with an S Pen. This is a very, really neat stylus type device for your phone. Basically, you can write all over the screen, you can draw on it, you can type with it. It's very, very nice, and everyone's that used it said it's fantastic. Whenever I get the device later on, hopefully I'll be able to give you guys a better review of that device. But as far as the Galaxy S3 goes, I've owned it for 3 months now. It's fantastic. It's top of the line. I've never had any quarrels with it so far. And over in America, and for the next month and a half, it is still the best device out there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I hope you guys learned something about the two devices. Hopefully you've got a better decision now in your head of which one you want to buy. If you like the Note 2, you got to wait another month and a half. If you like the Galaxy S3, go out and buy it. It's available right now. Other than that, guys, have a great day. Leave any questions in the comment section down below. I'm glad to answer any questions y'all guys have in your mind. Other than that, guys, have a great day, and I'll catch y'all later. Bye.